but let's move on and talk about the IndiGrid InvIT, which ended Q4 with an increased DPU or distribution per unit of 3.45, and that's a growth of around 8% compared to what they saw last year. And they've made a DPU guidance for 13.8 for FY24. They've also recently acquired Cargon Transmission. To discuss the quarter gone by, to give us insights on the recent acquisitions, we have Harsh Shah, who's the CEO of IndiGrid, who's joining us now. Harsh, thanks a lot for joining in. The first thing, of course, that stands out is the increased DPU, distribution per unit, of 3.45. Can you tell us which are the projects and which are the recent acquisitions that contributed to your increased cash flow as well? And, what is the expectation in terms of how the existing portfolio could grow in FY24?
Thanks. So we have, over the last 6 years, consistently grew our DPU about 3 to 4% year on year, and this is in line with that. Last year, we acquired 3 projects, or rather, we acquired 2 projects and we are building the third one. The 2 projects we acquired was Cargon Transmission, as you mentioned. The second one was Raichur Sholapur from 3 developers. And the third one is that we are building called Kalam Transmission. Between these 3 put together, about 2,000 crore of growth is there. And these 3 will contribute directly to the current year's 4.5% growth that we have guided towards, which is about 13.8 rupees DPU per year. Going forward, the recent transaction which we have announced, which is about 4,000 odd crores, is going to add to further DPU growth. And as and when we culminate the transaction, absorb it and stabilize the asset, but that we believe is going to add additional DPU on top of what is currently there.
Any early estimates by how much it could go up, your DPU?
So at the moment, we have kept it around 2 to 3% additional for the year. But I think that depends on when the transaction gets finalized, how much capital raise, at what price. I think it depends on that. But at the moment, we have guided to 2 to 3% additional growth on top of it, 4.5%.
And this is this Versant renewable acquisition of 4,000 crore rupees. What will it do to your net debt to assets under management? What would the number now stand at?
So I would start by saying our current AUM is around 22,800 crores. Okay. The recent acquisition adds around 4,000 crores to that. So it takes us, give or take, around 27,000 crores of assets. Currently, our net debt to AUM is around 59%. After Versant acquisition, which we plan to do fully debt funded to begin with, will take us to around 65%. However, we have also announced a potential capital raise, which we will do up to 1,500 crores in coming year, which would bring it back down to 59% of leverage. So in the interim, we are starting at 59%, around 14,500 crores of net debt, which will grow by 4,000 crores of acquisition in the interim, which will take us to 65% net debt to AUM. We will raise around 1,500 crores of capital max, 1,000 to 1,500, which will bring us back to 59-60% of net debt to AUM. So we like to remain in that range.
Okay, got that. Harsh, talk to us a little bit more as well about this Versant acquisition. Just what are the kind of assets that it has? What is the term for the PPAs as well? And speaking of acquisitions, is there anything else that you're looking at as well?
So first on Versant, it's a phenomenal platform built around 16 different projects put together around more than 500 megawatt of capacity. And Versant team had put together a good asset base by acquiring and aggregating portfolio. On an average, the assets have around 7 years of operating track record, which gives us a lot of comfort. And on top of it, the residual tenor is around 18 years as we speak right now. So it's a good balance between having a long-term asset with a good operational history. And then we are excited in acquiring that. Besides Versant, there are always different transactions which we participate in, and we do see a lot of activity coming in renewable space, in electricity space per se, whether it's battery storage, transmission, or renewables. We do see a lot of activities. Nothing has reached a conclusion stage that we can announce it, but we do expect a lot of activity in this space over the next 12 months.
Okay, so in the renewable space, is where you're targeting. Can you tell us, I mean, what kind of acquisitions are these that you would be looking at in terms of what is the quantum, what is the stage of maturity that you prefer the project to be in, and, what would be your, war chest in the sense? How much is the money that you have perhaps outlined for these acquisitions over the next, say, 18 to 24 months?
Sure. I think to answer your first question, what type of asset we look at is not, we don't have a preference over renewable per se. We do transmission, we do renewables, and we do battery storage. And depending on whatever is most attractive in terms of risk-reward ratio, we go for that. And then, let's say for very recent transaction, it falls into our risk-reward, and therefore we are executing it. Next 12 to 18 months, I think we already, with our 1,500 capital that we are projecting, we would have another 6,000-7,000 crores of acquisition pipeline that we can acquire. If we go beyond that, we would need to do further capital raise. But to be honest, with IndiGrid's track record, our very, very strong shareholder base, I don't think we are worried on the capital raise. We are rather looking at buying good quality assets at a reasonable price. And that's something which is the focus of management. We are pretty supported by a strong shareholder base, and we are confident that as and when there is the right amount of growth possible, we would be able to raise capital. And therefore, I think our war chest is fairly large, and we are starting to see consolidation in renewable space and electricity space, and we are excited about it, and we would see more transaction coming in this space.
Harsh, you said your AUM is nearly 27,000 crore rupees, right? What percentage of that AUM comes from the renewable space?
After we acquire Virescent, will be about 15 to 17%. Yeah.
Okay. And are you looking to bring that up with the next few acquisitions that you're looking to make? Because renewable is still a little more riskier, right?
Yeah. I think operationally speaking, I do find renewable with an operating track record as good as transmission assets. Counterparty-wise, yes, renewable, depending on whether you choose an NTPC or power grid or a state asset, the credit risk might be a little different. But we are comfortable with that because overall collection cycles have improved massively. However, we plan to keep our renewable exposure less than 30% in our portfolio. So there's enough headroom to grow on that. And as I said, we are not necessarily looking at renewable assets alone. We would be looking at entire electricity value chain except thermal, and that's something which allows us to make the right investment decisions between choosing the right risk reward ratio at the right time.
All right, got that. Harsh, thanks a lot for taking out the time and speaking to us today. That is the management of IndiGrid telling us that for the current financial year, they see DPU or the distribution per unit rise by around 3 to 4%. They're also saying that this recent acquisition of Virescent will add around 4,000 crores to their AUM, and they're open to looking at several other acquisitions as well.